This is the Magic Mill electric kettle, and I'm going to show you a couple of things about it today. It came in this box right here, has some good features on the description on the box, that sort of thing. I was not prepared for this kettle to be as large as it was, and yes, it gives you the capacity or whatever, but this is a big product, so I just wanted to forewarn you. This does take up counter space. It's a very small footprint as far as this goes, so that's nice, but it's going to be roughly the size of a coffee maker. So this is just something to keep in mind as you're considering a purchase of this. Okay, this is the kettle itself. I actually have it empty of water for the moment, so you can see the bottom. There's the coils, the electric coils, metal coils that are going to now fit into this bottom bit of the base right here. Literally, it just sits on top of that, and it heats it up, heats up your water extremely quickly. I'm going to put this on here. It can go any which direction, so you can use it for righty or a lefty. You can turn it around very easily, that kind of thing. This is cordless, so once you lift it off, it's going to be nice and comfortable. You're not going to have to struggle with the cord and reaching any distance. You can take this even to another room if you want to import. It has the capacities marked here on the side. This is a glass container. The capacity is 1.7 liters maximum. I do wish that they had mentioned, this is a 10-cup capacity. I do wish that they'd put the cups on here as well, because oftentimes I use, when I'm doing the water, I'm going to be using it in cups. So that's a minor gripe here, but okay, it has, let me point out a couple other things. It has an optional tea strainer or infuser or whatever. You could put anything in here. It doesn't have to be tea. It could be, you know, fruit, could be anything else. And I know infusing fruit drinks and that kind of stuff, vegetables is all the latest craze. So this is a very small hole stainless steel I guess strainer or whatever. It has a handle to lift it up and out. I actually have some loose tea in there, and I've discovered that this is this actually extends the life of your. You can use your tea over and over and over, and it still works really well. So I'm going to put that in here. You can remove it if you wish to just boil water without the actual strainer in it, but you set the strainer in here, and the handle folds in right there. It's nice. This has, you know, like I said, very, very small holes. So I have a loose tea that actually leaves particles behind pretty regularly with tea balls. You'll end up with just little bits in your tea, and it doesn't bother me too much, but this one actually I've not had any little fragments at all, no loose tea. It also has a double strainer, because double security here against that, because right here in the lip where it's pouring out, the spout, you will see that it has another mesh right here built in, and so that catches any other further debris. This is a smooth open and close. It opens by this the knob right here, or the push button right there, and then it goes on to here. Okay, it did come with an instruction manual. The instruction manual was full of typos and grammatical mistakes. I would say it probably wasn't written by a native English speaker, but I was able to make out the majority of it. I'm going to show you, a lot of it was actually by trial and error, because it does give you some information on here, but it was a little hard to understand and a little hard to read. Okay, one of the things, okay, let's go ahead and, it does have a bunch of safety features built in, so it actually will not run if you have no water in there. Okay, so right now I'm just going to plug it in. You'll notice it has this LED right here that says off. That means it's going to be off. If I were to press on, it should say in just a second, you're going to see these blue lights come on, which is sort of fun. It has a blue LED, and this should boil your water. Well, in just a second it should kick off or send an error message, because it has a safety feature saying, you know what, there's no water in there, we can't do this. So in a second you will notice the little bit of water that's in there is drying up right now, and it's going to kick itself off and say, nope, sorry, this won't work. The on position immediately is going to start boiling it. It is amazing how quickly it goes. I mean, literally, look. You're already getting bubbles forming. You were going to have to hear me over the sound of it. It is a little loud, but it's not bad. In a few minutes, you'll get a full rolling boil. I timed it. It takes roughly about 4 minutes for a half full container to get a full rolling boil. I also want to point out a couple of other features, though. So this can actually be programmed to any temperature from 120 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you want to set it at a precise temperature, you can hit this program button, and here it's at 120. If you want to go up, you can change it up to, say you want it 180 degrees. Then it's going to stop at 180 degrees, and when it does, it'll power off. And the coolest thing about this is, if you just leave it once it gets to 180 degrees, you just leave it sitting there. Then what's going to happen is once it kicks off, it'll kick off, and after a couple of seconds, you'll see the temperature dropping. And then once it gets below, maybe another 5 degrees below or thereabouts, it'll kick back on again, and it'll bring it right back up to the temperature that you wanted it on. So it's keeping it at a steady 180 degrees pretty much consistently for the whole time period. Okay, so it's going to be locked out. You can't press these buttons. That's another safety feature. But press the program again, and we can change it back up to that 212, which is the boiling point. And I will come back on here in just a second when it is at boiling temperature and show you what this looks like. The coolest thing ever is that you can actually see it through this glass. Nothing here at this metal doesn't get hot, which is nice. The hottest part right here is the glass. I wouldn't hold it for extensive periods of time. They actually suggest you only use this acrylic handle. Okay. One other quick thing I wanted to point out is I have tea in there, so it's going to be infusing the tea, but really you don't see the full infusion until it starts with that full rolling boil, and then all of a sudden you'll notice the color of this water is going to change very rapidly because it's going to start infusing immediately. And the other thing I like about this, because of the fact that the infusion basket is able to be pulled out, one of the things we discovered is obviously if you leave this sitting here for an hour, and it'll keep on at that steady temperature for up to an hour. If you keep it sitting in here for an hour, it's going to continue to steep and steep and steep. And if you don't like really strong tea, then one of the nice things about this is you can just go ahead and remove that tea basket with the tea leaves or that sort of thing, and it'll obviously stop infusing. So you can do this for all sorts of stuff. You can use it for ramen. You can use it for anything like that. This would be great for a dorm room. This would be great for some place where you can't have an access to a microwave, but you want that hot water. Okay, you'll notice it's coming to, it's coming to a full rolling boil here. Just a second. We're at 200 degrees. You definitely get your bubbles here, but at 212 it should kick off. And that's going very quickly. I mean, I don't know how long I've been talking, but I would say it's been a lot shorter than 4 minutes today. 209, 210. I mean, this is the coolest thing ever to watch, really. 212. There you go. And watch what happens. In just a second, you see the bubbles abating, and it's going to kick to off. And that means it's going to power down, and then, as I mentioned, probably in another, probably 30 seconds or thereabouts, if the temperature starts dropping too much, it'll kick back on again. And this tea has been used now 3 times. The same tea has been used 3 times, so you're not going to get as strong a color as you would have otherwise, but it is. You definitely notice it definitely changes to an infused color. That's all I have to say. I mean, I am just absolutely thrilled by this product. Other than the larger footprint, which I was not prepared for, I just think this is the coolest thing ever. You can remove it from the heat like that. Like I said, no cord. You can hold it right-handed, left-handed, and pour it whichever way you prefer. And it's very, very simple, super simple to pour. Great product. Love it. And I would recommend it to anyone. Okay, you'll note that the temperature dropped to 209, and now you'll notice the bubbles are kicking back on again because I have it set for 212. So what's going to happen is it's going to kick back on again until it reaches that 212 degrees, and then it'll turn off again. So this is the feature that I mentioned to you. As you see right here, it's going to keep it basically at a steady, with a variation of plus or minus a couple of degrees, it's going to keep it at a very steady temperature. So there it is.